Hi guys, welcome to our YouTube channel. So today we have someone joining me here, and she is.
Hi, I am Adoma. I'm her daughter. I am 10 years old and I'm really excited to be in this video.
Okay, so this is not like her first time here. She is the dancing princess you see on the channel.
And her videographer and editor.
Yeah, so she's the one behind the scene of all the videos you see on this channel. So today we want to talk about her school experience in Canada. Um, has she had any culture shock in school and all of that? So, Adama, what do you understand to be culture shock?
A culture shock to me is basically when you get shocked because, for example, I'm from Nigeria. I came to Canada when I was 8 years old. So if things go on differently and it really shocks me, that's what I call a culture
And
shock.
this could be positive
Or
or
negative.
yeah, so culture shock could be both ways. So tell me, what has your experience been like here? What are your teachers in Canada like? Tell me about that.
Oh, first of all, they're really sweet. If we make a mistake, they always know they use our words to help us find the answer. Unlike Nigerian teachers that would be like, no, you're wrong. Or sometimes they will literally humiliate you. Nigerian teachers, they will humiliate you in front of the whole class for getting the question wrong. But the teachers here are really nice and understanding, and they really help you to get the right answer. I really enjoy that about them.
So when you're not being a good child in school, back home you receive some spanking. So what is it like when you're not behaving well in school? I know I hear things like they send you to the naughty corner, like for the kids in the very younger grades. Like, so in your own grades, what do they do if you're not behaving well and all of that? What does the teacher do to you?
So if it's our day for gym where we go and play, she could be like, for being bad, you're not gonna go to gym, or you're not going out for recess, or she can have a talk with you, or just send you to the principal's office.
Okay, so when they send you to the principal's office, what really happens behind closed doors? I know you've not been sent to the principal's office because I've not been called, but do you have an idea when a child gets sent to the principal's office? Do you have an idea what happens behind closed doors?
So when a child gets sent to the principal's office, the principal has a light talk. Like for example, if the child got in trouble because they don't pay attention or they have trouble paying attention, they give the child some toys to play with or try to find out just what the problem is. They don't make the child feel bad. They just try to solve the problem for the child. And when they call the parents, they don't really make the parents feel like they have a bad child. They just tell the parents, this is what the problem is with your child, and this is what you can do to help it. This is what we're also gonna do. It's like a really good system. That's how I feel.
Okay, so here you don't have your teachers screaming at you, yelling, beating, flogging. Because in Nigeria, if a child is too stubborn, you get some beatings to kind of reset your brain and help you concentrate better in school. You're saying teachers in Canada are not allowed to hit the child. Under no circumstances can that happen, right?
Yeah. I also feel like teachers in Nigeria shouldn't be allowed to hate children because sometimes that doesn't really solve the problem. It just gives the child childhood trauma. To me, that's how it feels like. And also, sometimes teachers take advantage of that and abuse the child for absolutely no reason. So I feel like that shouldn't be allowed.
Okay, so she said teachers in Nigeria should not be allowed to hit children for any reason. So let me know your thoughts about this in the comment section. My viewers from Africa, from Nigeria, what do you think about this? That teachers should not be allowed to hit children under no circumstance should this be allowed. So share your thoughts on this, guys. Let me know what you feel about this. And also tell me, in your own location, what is it like? Are teachers allowed in any way to uh, hit children slightly just to put them to behave well? Or do they use things like naughty corner, send them to the naughty corner for the kids in the younger grades? What do they do to put children under control? Because like myself, a mom with three kids, at times it's extremely difficult to put them under control, particularly the two younger boys, to put them in check, to put them in control, to have them do what you want them to do. So, what do you think could be the best way to handle kids, particularly in the younger grades? If we're saying beating is not allowed, I cannot be allowed in any circumstance. Talking about homework, I know in Nigeria you were barely like 4 years old when you started copying notes. Yeah, you usually will come home with like 3, 4 pages of work to get done and notes to copy and one or two things. And I felt at that age that was really not necessary for a child of 4, 5 years because most times those homeworks are actually very complicated. That most times it is the parents who ends up doing this homework and the child barely just copies it and takes it to school. So in Canada, what has your experience been? Do you get to do homework after school and all of that?
I think this is gonna change after I get into like sixth grade. But right now, I don't really get homework unless I like have leftover work from school and I was really supposed to get it done. I don't get homework. And when I was in Nigeria and I got that much homework, I feel like that's not fair because in Nigeria, school hours are also a lot longer than in Canada. So it doesn't make sense that we come back from a long day of school and we can't even like sit down and eat but because like we have 4 pages of homework. At some point I used to like start crying because I felt it wasn't fair. But in Canada that's really different, and I really like that. And it's also a good thing that you start getting homework in grade 6 because you're probably like 11 or 12 years old, and that's a reasonable age to start doing homework and stuff. But I really like that we barely have any homework to do, well, for now. And yeah.
So do you think not having homework to do kind of makes you lazy around, play around so much? You should be very serious about your studies, studying, reading. My thoughts. Yeah, so do you think not having homework really helps the child? I don't know. What do you think?
I think it helps the child because, like, if we don't get enough break and relax, we, like, for example, if I get too much homework, I stay up past bedtime. And when that happens, I can't function in school. So I end up doing really bad. And what's the point of going to school if when you come back home, you still have the same work to do? Like, that's not fair. And it's not fair that the child has to do all of that work, and it's not like they even have a choice, they have to do it. So I feel like it's a good thing we don't have homework. It really helps the child's brain to develop properly.
Okay, so Adama, what else do you think you like here about the school system in Canada compared to what we had back home in Nigeria?
I feel like the kids here are very thoughtful and inclusive. Like they always try to, especially when you're a new kid, they're always really they have a lot of empathy, and they always help you if you don't like understand. Unlike in Nigeria, they you like literally walk into a new school and they look at you like an enemy because everyone is like really competitive for no reason. I never really liked that about Nigeria, and it seemed like parents also encouraged that kids should be competitive. I never liked that, but here it doesn't matter how good one person is doing or how good another person is doing. They always make themselves feel like good about each other, and I really enjoy that.
So, what has the experience been like making new friends in school shortly after we landed in Canada? What was your experience like making new friends and all of that?
Um, when you're in Nigeria, it's really rare to go ask someone like, do you want to be friends? Do you want to hang out at recess? Because they're always like, no. If you weren't there since they were like born, they feel like you don't deserve to be friends with them. But here, the moment you walk up to them, like, do you want to be friends? Do you want to hang out? They're like, yeah. They will always include you, and I made friends really quickly. I was really surprised about that because even when I didn't ask, they would like, "Hey, Adoma, do you want to play together? Do you want to like be friends?" So it was really easy to make friends, even though we've moved like four different times,
I
three
think
or four,
three
yeah.
different times now. Yeah.
And I always found it really easy to make friends. So I really like that. Yeah.
Okay, so moving from one school, okay, you've always been in Catholic school in Canada, right?
Yeah.
So the two schools we had in Ontario were both Catholic schools, and now in our new location too is also a Catholic school. So the three schools, what has the experience been? The teachers, do they behave alike? When you're not in school, do you miss school? Generally, what is it like in the three schools?
I feel like in every school, the teachers and students are always nice. Although occasionally there will be like some strict teachers or mean kids, it's a very healthy system. And sometimes when I don't come to school, I kind of miss school because it's really fun. So even though there's a lot of advantages and good things about the schools here in
Yeah.
Canada, one thing I find so annoying
Yeah.
is the school buses.
Oh, what
Like
about that?
in my past two schools I had buses and it was absolute torture for me because like once I was at my house getting ready when I was a bit late and I was walking outside and and like the bus driver literally looked at me and just drove past
You
me.
were your way going to the bus stop, the school
Yeah,
bus stop.
but I
Okay.
was like, remember that time we were a bit late
Yeah.
and we were rushing. So as soon as we came out, the bus was already there. And the bus driver saw me but just drove past because I wasn't at the bus stop. And the bus stop was already like 5 minutes away from my home, so I don't really understand that. So when
It's less than 5 minutes. Just like it's like a minute drive from the house.
Mhm.
But the understanding is that you need to be standing at the bus stop and waiting for the bus to pick you up. So if you're just strolling from your home and you're getting to the bus stop late, yes, the bus driver just turns, stares at you, looks at you, and continues his driving to the bus stop. So his duty and obligation, to my understanding, is to pick those kids who are waiting patiently at the bus stop. So he picks those kids and he continues on his way. So if you're a parent that you're still stuck with the African time thing, you're struggling and all of that, so sorry, because by the time you get to the bus stop, the school bus is gone and you would have to drive your kids to school that morning. So it depends. If the bus driver is kind enough and he looks through the rear mirror and he sees you coming, if he's kind enough, he may stop. But if you're not so lucky, he drives off, then you have to go back home with your kids, put them in your car, and drive them to school. So by the time you do this once or twice as an African mom, definitely you would understand the meaning of when they say it's 7 a.m., it is 7 a.m. And if that's another beautiful thing here. If for any reason the bus is running late, they will communicate. They will tell you maybe due to the weather condition, the bus will be 5 minutes late, 10 minutes late. They will always tell you that. So if as a parent you decide not to come out to the bus stop with your kids when they give you that time, that will really be your own issue because the school bus driver will get to the bus stop, pick the kids. Okay, Adoma, so there is one aspect of this discussion that we really cannot forget. What is that for you?
Well, that's the weather.
Uh-huh.
I think the one and only thing I miss about Nigeria is the weather. Because in Nigeria, no matter what time of the year it is, it's always like sunny and warm. So when we moved to Canada, I was so shocked there was like snow and ice everywhere. And especially now that I have to walk to school, it's so annoying. Well, I mean now it's starting the weather is getting better, but I remember like you remember January and December, it was
Yeah, that was the
absolute
peak.
it was absolute torture because we would have to like walk around looking like baby elephants because we had like 3 layers on and then snow pants and jacket, and it was so annoying. And there was this one time I forgot my mittens at home and I came to school and I got frostbite. It was so painful, and I really miss that about Nigeria, and I really don't like that about Canada.
Oh, so well, Nigeria has its own advantages and disadvantages, same as Canada with its own advantages and disadvantages. No place could be particularly beautiful in everything. Canada, I would say, is beautiful for everything but the weather.
Mm.
Yeah. And the system we're coming from in Africa too has its own disadvantages. So there is no place on earth that is totally beautiful in everything. If it's not being affected, let's say the crime rate in the country, corruption, here is the weather we're talking about. So for me, I still like it here regardless of
Yeah.
the weather. All right, guys, thank you for joining us today. We hope to do more of this together,
Yeah, I really
right?
enjoyed this.
You enjoyed it.
Yeah.
So we hope to do more of this together. Please, if you're coming our way for the very first time, please subscribe to our channel. It helps us to grow. Turn on the notification bell and follow us for more insightful content. Please feel free to share your comments in the comment section. Let me know what your location is like. Did you just move to a new location? What has the experience been for your kids? What has the school been like? Do they like their school? How are they settling in? Their teachers, their friends? How is this new experience for the kids? I just want to know what it's been like. Thank you once again, and thank you for watching. Bye. So it's time for behind the scenes, right? Welcome to our YouTube channel. So today we have my daughter with us today, and she is,
I am her editor and her videographer.
and her name is Adoma.
Yes.
So today she's